Gen Z are lazy and entitled. This narrative has been going on for a couple of years now. I'm a Gen Z myself and I do not know which side I land on. But as I was analyzing this story, there's a quote that really caught my eye that is very, very good. And I feel like we land on this maybe that every generation imagines itself to be more intelligent than the one that went before it and wiser than the one that comes after it. Especially when it comes to the workplace, a lot of people really say that Gen Z are lazy and entitled and they want everything that is good without responsibility. So let's listen to this rant, then maybe we can decide. There's this narrative in Gen X, especially hupenda kusema, that Gen Zs are lazy and entitled. As a Gen Z, hiyo kitu hunibo sana. It's been 3 years since I finished campus and all the places I have worked at within this period, one thing has been constant. Most Gen X and older millennials do not like Gen Z. What they term as laziness and entitlement is actually self-respect, something they lacked back in the day. They expect us to work so hard for low pay, but put in extra hours without any extra pay or time off and be happy about it. As if we bring nothing to the table na hiyo pesa ya end month wanatufanyia favor wakitulipa. A colleague, 27 male of mine, took on work for two people for close to 6 months after one of his team members left. Ikifika time ya promotions and bonuses after performance review akapewa bonus kidogo than usual. So after inquiring why akaambiwa, while we appreciate the extra work you took on for X living, you do not perform too well on your main tasks. I feel like this is something they would have told him. Like, okay, you are noticing I'm not doing well. Why am I not doing well? Tell me I'm not doing well so that I can correct it. After kupush back, akaambiwa sisi Gen Zs we are lazy. Tunataka pesa mingi yenye hatu deserve etc. Mind you, he used to be the last one to leave the office almost every day. Anaweka 2 to 3 hours extra in the evening ndio amalize job. Alafu that same hour, 46 female who called him lazy used to leave work at 3 in the afternoon ndio apike mtoto from school. Nobody has ever seen her in the office for a full week. She finds an excuse to claim to be working from her huge mansion her husband bought for a few Kenyatas, that is money, back when the economy was doing great during Kibaki's reign. Every now and then, Anna attends seminars and summits, kukula two allowances. Nobody even understands what value she brings to the company, but she's still there and employed. All in all, Gen Zs definitely work hard and go the extra mile. Honestly, I do believe that Gen Zs do work hard. If given the opportunity to work hard, if we can cut a line between the percentage of people who are not working hard and who are working hard as Gen Zs, I feel like the ratio would be 80-20. So people are complaining so much about this 20%, what about this 80% that is actually really motivated and ready to work and ready to put in the work, and is not getting the opportunity to do so. I think we're confusing a lack of opportunities for laziness and entitlement. But also we can argue that maybe because of social media, there's never been a time where opportunity is as great as it is now. That's 50-50. In all, Gen Zs definitely work hard and go the extra mile, but if it is not appreciated, that's jisumbua sana like our parents did. Respect ourselves too much to allow others to disrespect and devalue us. People want you to put in the extra work, especially because you're young. They expect you to just put in the extra work with no additional pay. It's like they say that it's adding to yourself, but what about your personal time? Like they do not respect that. I feel because they didn't have that, they want to impose it on you. But anyway, let's look at what other people are saying. One of the issues that I've seen in the Gen Z versus Gen X interactions is the older generations see their struggle lives as a beacon of honor, while the young generation sees it for what it is, struggles. The fact that Gen Z want to live their lives on their own terms and make choices is what angers Gen. What I noticed with the workplace with a Gen X manager is very different actually than how a Gen Z manager manages the company. What I noticed was a Gen X. She wants to impose, like when you're in high school and like you're being forced to do stuff, even though the rules are being imposed on you so much, like they want to do that even in your workplace. They do not understand that you guys are adults, that you can have like normal conversation. Like if you're telling me to do something, you don't have to shout at me for me to do it. I can just do it without you shouting. That is what I think people are not really understanding. Take the place like OP stated, Gen Z don't want to kill themselves for an underpaying position. True. And Gen X can stomach that because of them, because to them you should be grateful to work yourself to exhaustion to prove yourself like they did back in their days. You're not taking that part as an insult to them, because you're reminding them that there's other choices and they didn't explore those options in their heydays. Another controversial angle: Gen Z choosing to remain single and child free, and Gen X gets their. What do you mean people can choose themselves over societal expectations? It's a painful reminder that they could have also made similar decisions, but they were too afraid of stigmatizing. So they ended up with a string of children they never wanted. Now, here you come as Gen Z flaunting your freedoms in their faces. How dare you? Seriously, how dare you? There's this narrative of hata pia mi nikiwa hapo nilikuwa nafanya hivi na hivi. Just because you are doing it doesn't mean that I have to do it. Okay, so now let's get a millennial's view. I'm a millennial and I saw this problem kitambo. All my employment years, I have never wanted a promotion or even applied for the internal adverts and stuff. I have never stayed at a company for more than 2 years. I never pick calls or reply work emails after I clock out. Thanks, millennials. Mimi huingia a job, save enough and start something. If you fail, I go back and do it again. Currently running a promising startup, but this is like the business number 10 I'm starting. Whew. And by far the most successful of my ventures. Wow, congrats. I had employment, especially the entitled HRs. A few years back, a company I worked at, the supervisor above the guy supervising us, junior staff, said the same. Ati kwani, why are you guys leaving at 5 a.m. sharp? So they expect you to put in extra hours. Where is everyone going? Where's the rush? Long story short, none of us hata wale wawili wa extend was absorbed. I want you to note that he was earning 10x our salaries and delegating all his work to us. And then someone comes up with like a very important statement that it happens to all generations. We'll probably do it to Gen Alpha when it's their turn. That got me thinking. Will we? Will we do it to our children also? Will we do it to Gen Alphas? Like when it's their time, we'll keep on saying they're lazy and entitled. You guys just have it easy. You don't understand how how hard we had it in our days. I really hope we do better, because it's true that it happens to all generations, and we might as well also put our trauma on Gen Alpha. I work with one Gen Z. We are two millennials and two Gen X. It's fair to say we, the Gen Z, are the most productive in that office. Let's go. We work at a fair environment since we all get good bonuses, and the head of the office appreciates our work and ethics. Wow, that's good. That's good for you. Kitu alishindwa kuelewa is how we come at work siku tunataka na time tunataka, but the work gets done. I feel like that's wrong. I feel like if you're working at a company, maybe you should obey some of the rules, not some of the rules, should obey the rules that are there. A boss is a she, so she'd always call even on the weekends if they're spending work. If she's able to get a hold of you and you're able to complete the task at hand, she'll appreciate your time. I think it's always about how the higher ups in Gen X are introduced to the work culture. I also have friends who say they have cool bosses who understand how they work and have never been a problem with them or the company. Okay. However, I've also worked in a toxic culture. Ule bosi hata kama kunanyesha nini, lazima ukue kazi on time, leave on time, do kazi anataka, and hakuna bonuses or anything for compensation, even working in odd hours. They never cared. So I feel like this is not the problem. This is the basis of the problem. They're actually like good bosses who understand the people that they are working with. And then there are these people who like love to 100% harass people. They do not care about their opinions. They do not care about the work you're putting in. They do not care if you're okay. And I've worked with someone like this before. It doesn't matter if it was raining. Like, they want you to get to work no matter the circumstance. It's almost like they want you to fly. When you're trying to expect to explain your point of view, they do not want to understand your point of view. It's their way or the highway. So I feel like there's people who understand, and there's people who do not understand, and I feel like that is where a lot of people are having a problem. The people that are calling maybe Gen Z lazy and entitled, it's either their way or the highway. They do not want to share their points of view. I feel like that is my opinion. But anyway, leave your thoughts on this, because this is a conversation that needs to be had. So leave your thoughts in the comment section. Let's interact there. And please subscribe. I need your support.